Crap with Beth and Matt. Cut the Crap is the world's #1 no bullshit health and fitness podcast.
Welcome to Cut the Crap with Beth and Matt. We are live here in Maine. Matt Vandelar is here in person with Dusty Young,
Hello.
coach at Hybrid Fitness.
Hi, Dusty.
What's up?
Not much. How you doing,
Welcome.
man?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Looking good, feeling better.
Every day.
Crushing it. Got a good workout in with you this morning.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
that was good. Last couple days.
A little back and biceps action today.
Yeah.
Felt good. I haven't been in a gym in a while, so that was nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
These
haven't,
last couple
huh?
of days, yeah. Just been working on at home.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
yeah.
thanks for joining us. It's always fun to have extra people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Dusty's been writing all the programming these days.
Trying. We're gonna get us big. That's the that's the goal.
Get
We are
swole.
we are growing, people.
Yep.
Okay, that's what we do in the gym. We grow.
Big Beth Faracco.
And I like the emphasis that you're putting on your workouts too. With like some of the sets are going to failure on that last set.
Yep.
It's definitely change of pace for myself because normally I work in a really low rep range, which I've been doing outside of that these last couple of months. But like with powerlifting and strength training, it's usually I'm 3 to 5. Sometimes I'll go up to 10 reps on my accessories. But
Yeah.
it's nice to have that kind of volume in there.
Yeah, it's something different, for myself as well. I was always very, very low rep for years when I started. And then, I dabbled into the 8 to 12-ish, but I never really went to failure until I learned a little bit more about like hypertrophy and how to stimulate it and whatnot. So that's kind of where that comes from, is just trying to get more muscle building effect.
Yeah.
So this is a good subject right here because we just talked about progressive overload in our last episode. And Dusty, can you explain to people like what hypertrophy is, like compared to like strength, getting strong and like building muscle,
Yeah.
and the programming that you are doing right now?
Sure. So, strength and hypertrophy, or building muscle, I guess we can not talk so nerdy. Building muscle
Nerd.
and strength training, like they go together, sure, but they are two exclusive things. Obviously the newer you are to lifting, you can gain both at the same time. But as you progress in your lifting age, so to speak, you'll have to specialize in one or the other. And strength training, obviously we want to get strong. Building muscle, we want to build physical tissue. So when we're talking about strength training, it's more of a neural adaptation. It's a skill. We're trying to teach our body how to lift this and to be able to lift this. So that's why you see really, really, really high, fast strength gains when you first start. It's just a skill. Like you go into the gym, the next day you're lifting something heavier. That's really what it is. Where in a sense of, building muscle, that is more of a physical adaptation, right? You have to build muscle, and that takes a lot longer to do. And just the avenue to get there is a little different. You have to initiate different, mechanisms, so to speak, in the body to initiate a stimulus to build muscle.
That signal.
That signal, basically. So they do overlap. You can get a little bit of each at first, but if your goal is strictly building muscle, you want to lift to build muscle. You don't want to lift to build strength. So and exercises are very dependent on this. Like certain exercises fit better in the strength category than say, hypertrophy. So we're talking like we talked about this morning.
Yeah.
Barbell movements, not necessarily the greatest for hypertrophy. Can you build muscle with barbell movements? Yes, but it is not optimal. We're talking optimum here.
Right.
If you want to build muscle, then can I swear?
Swear all
Are
you
you
want,
fucking
man.
kidding me?
Come on.
Then fucking build muscle.
Right. Yeah.
Don't why half-ass it? Whole-ass it. That's what I say.
Right.
So barbell movements, we can build muscle with it, but it's not going to be as effective as some movements with dumbbells or cables or whatever. So yeah, I don't know if I answered your full question. How much further do you want me to go into this?
I think that's a good starting point.
I think it's a good starting point, but I think we should actually like, where are you from? What do you do?
Sure.
And how are you able to talk about this subject?
Oh, shit.
We just kind of went into
went
it.
right
We're
into
like,
it.
here's
Now
fucking
we're-
Dusty. No one knows who Dusty is,
Yeah.
but he's about to tell you.
we got him hooked. So
Right?
Yeah.
We
plan
wanted to
sync.
get
Let's
right
go.
into it.
Okay. I mean, do you want like the
You could tell us. I want your like story.
life story or
Well,
How you got to where you're at now? Because I know
Yeah.
last time I was here, we talked about how you kind of got started doing this.
Yep.
And how you got into the role that you're doing now. So, what is the role that you're doing now? And then let's reverse that. How did you get there?
Okay, so right now, my name's Dusty Young. I'm here in Warren, Maine, running Hybrid Fitness. We are a gym here, and basically, I'm the what does he call it? The the director of operations here. So
the DP,
the DP.
the DO, the D doctor
Oh, yeah,
of.
yeah.
Yeah, that would be DO. I
DO.
don't know what DP came.
You call
from.
me the DOP. So basically, I'm kind of in charge of making sure this place fucking runs properly and efficiently, and that's through keeping our trainers, happy. Make sure that they have clients. So I'm doing sales. I'm doing social media stuff. I'm doing onboarding, and I also train as well. So I do sessions. I do classes and personal training as well. So I kind of have my finger on the entire pulse, so to speak. And as we grow, that becomes more difficult, and I kind of need to, focus more on one thing rather than the other. But
Yeah.
that's
Instead
what
of
I
the jack
do.
of all trades.
Yeah.
Specialized.
Yeah. Yep. So that's what I do here. And I guess to kind of tell everybody how I got here, is that what you're looking
Yep.
for now?
Yeah.
Totally.
Okay. So, man, we are going to have to go back a little bit.
Sure.
But growing up, I was always kind of a chunky kid. Well, I was a little chunky. I wasn't fat, but I was chunky. I always had a problem. And I feel like looking back now, there was a couple things in my life that were pretty, I guess, traumatic, you would say, for a kid. And I was alone a lot, living with a single mother. She was taking care of everything. She was home late working. So I was always alone. And I feel like food was my coping mechanism. It made me feel like I wasn't so alone, and I could deal with those, problems that I was going through. And so that led to me being overweight as a child, towards middle school. And then high school, the end of middle school, beginning of high school is when it was like at its peak. And I was a big kid. Let's see, right now I'm like 160, I'm 5'9", 160. I mean, I'm pretty lean right now, but I was 230, 235 as a sophomore, I think it was. So I was a big kid, and I got picked on, and that shit, I don't know if you guys ever had to deal with that stuff, but that sits heavy. I wasn't a ladies' man. I couldn't get a fucking girlfriend. So like, I'm thinking to myself, how the hell am I going to get through life like this? So at the age of, what was it, 15 or 16, me and a friend of mine, we started doing the Atkins diet
Oh boy.
in high school, right?
Okay.
Like, we're bringing Tupperware containers
Oh my
full
God.
of fucking burgers and bologna, and oh yeah, we're like, oh sweet, we can eat all the fucking deli meat and cheese we want and lose weight. This is great. So we both ended up losing 40 pounds or so. Went off of it. Can you guess what happened?
I don't know. I think perhaps maybe you gained that weight back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and a little bit more.
And a little bit more.
A little bit more.
Interesting.
So-
Imagine that, you guys.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
So we're like, well, what the fuck? So what did we do? We did it again. It worked, right? Well,
Right.
fuck me. Let's do it again. So did the whole yo-yo thing for a while. Worked, didn't work. Obviously, I put all the fucking weight back on. And then I was just kind of like, well, this sucks. What am I going to do? Like, maybe I'm just destined to be a fucking fat ass all my life. I don't know. But I'm depressed. I need to figure this out. So I don't know how I came across it. I guess I was, you know what it was? I remember now. I saw a video on my old ass phone, like when phones first did video. There was a video of me. So me and my friends, all my fat friends. You guys ever watch The Office?
Yeah.
Okay, you remember the episode with the cheese balls? They're like they're throwing cheese balls in everybody's mouth, and it was
Yes.
just a game.
Yep.
Okay, so we would do that, but we would like bounce them off the cupboards, try and like fucking catch them, and just fat kid shit. But I saw a video of myself, and I was like, I was absolutely fucking disgusted with myself. Like, this is me? No.
Saw a video of yourself doing that?
Yes. Yeah, because we filmed it because we thought we were funny, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I was like, no, something's got to change. And in walks, oh, man, you know those infomercials you see early morning? You know those.
With the snake oil that they're selling you, or some type of a fat blaster?
Well,
or...
so this one was some beach body workouts. You guys know
okay,
Beachbody.
yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, Insanity.
Oh, you got into that.
Yeah, with Sean T, I believe his name was.
Yep, Sean T.
I was like, well, fuck me, I'm gonna do this. Look at those assholes. They've got washboard abs. They're skinny. They're good. Yeah. Okay. So I did it. I did the whole goddamn program. A buddy of mine did it too. I was up at 6 a.m. doing that. That is not something anybody should be doing to lose weight, I tell you. But guess what? I lost it. And that was my introduction to fitness.
Okay.
I'm sure you had a very unhealthy relationship with exercise at that point, because you're literally punishing your body.
Oh, I fucking hated it.
Yeah.
Hated it. But I was like, I'm going to do this. And the reason I did it, I guess I should have touched on this too, was throughout my entire life, a lot of people, and a lot of like people that I love and were important to me, would tell me, like, you know, if I wanted to do something, oh, that's just a phase, or that's not going to work, or you're not going to be able to do that. I'm like, oh, you motherfucker. I'm going through this goddamn thing if it kills me, and I'm going to prove you all wrong. So that's my mindset. Not necessarily healthy, but I do a lot of shit with a chip on my shoulder. And
nothing wrong with that.
I can relate.
yeah.
A lot
So
of people thrive with that.
you just want to fucking stick it to them. So that's what
Right.
I was doing. But I was losing weight at the same time. I was doing this little diet thing that they had in the program as well. I'm pretty sure I bootlegged it. I didn't buy it. I was too cheap. I bootlegged the whole thing.
Yeah,
But
I had P90X bootleg
yeah,
myself.
yep. So so I went through it. You know, they had a little nutrition thing, which I believe, if I remember correctly, they told me to eat 1,400 calories a day.
Ouch.
But obviously, like, that was my first introduction to calories.
Right.
And I know my tracking was not, I wasn't weighing or measuring anything. It was just like, oh, back of the package says this is what I'm eating.
Right, and then
so
you added it up.
yeah, I'm sure I was closer to 2,000, but I still lost a lot of weight. So I did that. I saw excellent results, a lot of aches and pains. Yeah. But I went from not being able to do a fucking push-up. I couldn't do a push-up when I started, to being able to do like 30. So, and that was like a 60 to 90 day thing. Like, I hate to shit on the program completely. It's definitely not something the general population should do. It's not very safe, and the structure isn't very
It just takes you, it just throws you right into the balls to the wall program. They don't do any assessments on people. I mean, how can they?
Yeah.
They're not doing mobility work, or do they do any mobility work with Insanity? Because I think P90X had some type of a yoga component to it.
So they did do some like stretching type stuff, which was cool, but I mean, the majority of the program is just high intensity, cardio with a little bit of resistance training through body weight stuff.
Right.
So it's like, if you want to burn calories, just jump up and down for a fucking hour, and you'll save your joints.
Yeah.
So, but it's fun, people like it's very alluring, right?
Yeah.
So, whatever. I went through it. But I'm very thankful for it. I'll shit on it now, but I'm very thankful for it, because
Everyone starts somewhere.
It was the gateway to where I am now.
And I'm sure for many other people too.
Yeah.
Like you said, not shitting on it. But I do think that programs like that are part of the reason why people are so obsessed with burning as many calories as they can in a workout, or super high intensity, balls to the wall all the time, killing themselves. If I'm not sore after the workout, did I even get a workout in? Was it even worth it? Did I even make any progress? I think that type of program sets those unrealistic expectations for people with exercise.
Yeah, 100%. And, that wasn't where it ended for me. Like, I did the program, I lost a lot of weight, and, I stopped it, and what happened, guys? Right? Like, I started to put on a little bit more weight, and I'm like, motherfucker, I can't.
Gotta do another round of Insanity.
Imagine. So you have to continue fitness. You mean you just don't stop?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, also true. Yeah.
So,
yeah. Exactly.
So,
but he couldn't do Insanity forever, though.
Right.
Well, so this is what I did. I was like, Insanity was a motherfucker. What can I do next? And of course, Shanti just came out with a brand new program. I'm like, well, let's fucking try that one. So I did that one 2 or 3 times. And this is what I did. And then I did P90X3 once.
Wow, I didn't know you were like in the thick of the beach body.
Oh,
you got in there.
I was a beach babe.
Oh shit.
So, and then I was like, I'm just not, I don't like it.
This can't be it.
So fast forward to, what am I? Like 25, 26 at this point. I'm 34 now. Holy fuck, it was that long ago. And I'm at work. I work swing shifts at this point in time of my life. I'm working late nights, 12 hours, a lot of sitting behind a computer. I have a lot of downtime. I'm on my phone a lot, and I'm researching. I honestly, I don't know how I came across it, but I came across some article by Mike Matthews. I don't know if you guys know who Mike Matthews is.
Sounds familiar.
He's the owner, creator of Legion Athletics supplement company. And he was talking about just how like it's calories in, calories out. And then, I got into more of his articles, and he's talking about strength training, and he's got a book about like how people should exercise and how they should eat to get the body they want. And I just went down that rabbit hole, and I'm just reading and reading and reading. He had a book. I bought it. I read it. And I was like, I need to lift fucking weights. Because that was his whole program was, strength training, 4 to 6 reps on big compound movements and whatnot. Like he had a program in there. Okay. I'm like, holy fuck, I need to start lifting. Mid-Coast, Maine, where do we have a gym, right? Like Planet Fitness wasn't there at the time. There were a couple local gyms, I think, and obviously intimidated as being somebody new that's never lifted, former fat kid. So I said, well, fuck this. I got a good job. I'm just going to build a gym in my basement. So I ordered a squat rack. I ordered a barbell. I ordered dumbbells, and I just started building this fucking gym. I was a few grand into it by the end of it, and I started lifting weights. And that is where life changed for me.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Forever. I started, diving into tracking food and doing it properly and learning how to properly eat. And I just found a love for it. And it changed my life so fucking much that I wanted to pay it forward. I wanted to help people because I spent, I don't know what it was, like 5 or 6 years, well, more than that collectively. So just years and years of up and down yo-yo dieting and exercising to try and get where I wanted, but I was just spinning my wheels. So it's like, how can I help people save fucking time? Like, don't make the same mistakes I did.
Yeah.
So I always wanted to get into fitness, but it was just like, how the fuck do I do it? I own this house. So I've got overhead. I'm working this job, which, paid great. Benefits were wonderful. It was an amazing job, but it was overnights, 12 hours, per shift, swing shifts. So working days, one day, nights the next. So it's like, how do I get into something? How do I get into fitness? And I thought, maybe a couple certs, but it's like, you can get all the certs you want. Even then, I was like, you can get the certs, but like, how the fuck are you going to apply it?
Right. If you're not working with people and, and applying that knowledge and learning from working with people.
Right. Like, what am I going to do? Run an ad in the newspaper? Like, hey, come to my basement. Like, I promise I won't steal your kidney. Yeah. But like, so, at that point, I'm starting to get into following people on Instagram and whatever. And at that point, I was a few years into lifting. Obviously, I thought I was pretty fucking cool and smart, right? But Jordan Syatt was somebody that I followed and respected. I loved his content. I loved kind of his approach. He was funny. And I noticed on one of his stories, it was, hey, I'm going to be in Mid-Coast, Maine in July, whenever it was, June, July, I can't remember. I was like, motherfucker, what? I was like, I got to look into
my
this.
idol,
I'm like, what? He's coming to my backyard. So I looked into it. And it's like, yeah, coming to Thomaston. And, Thomaston's what, fucking 10 minutes away from where I lived. I'm like, what the fuck is he doing here?
Right.
And I find out he's coming to Hybrid Fitness in Thomaston. I'm like, well, motherfucker, he's selling tickets. Obviously, I took vacation from work. I went, and that's where I met Beth. That's where I met Hunter. And that is kind of how it all started. I told Hunter, I said, listen, dude, if you ever have an internship, you ever need help with it, with anything, let me know, and I'd love to do it. He's like, cool, whatever. Like, I'll maybe I'll reach out to you someday. 2 weeks later, he's like, hey, you still wanna do an internship training and whatnot. So that was my foot in the door to actually getting into a gym and helping people. And Beth basically took me under her wing with the classes and whatnot. We had some early mornings, doing that stuff. We went to seminars. It was fucking awesome. And then, here's the issue. That's a part-time gig. I'm doing that on my off days, working 12-hour swing shifts. So I had to make a decision, and I wasn't happy. I had just gotten out of a pretty shitty relationship. So I was living in this big fucking house all by myself. Now COVID has shown its face.
Okay.
The housing market was pretty good for sellers. So I was like, fuck this. Hunter always wanted to get me to quit my job and work full time at the gym. And I was obviously scared. I'm giving up a lot of money.
Security and comfort.
Big time. Like, I giving up a lot to do this. And I was like, fuck this. I was like, putting the house on the market, and I'm going to bank a little bit and then quit my job. And that's what I did. It all happened a lot quicker than I thought.
Yeah.
I put my house up for sale, and that day was an offer.
You're like, fuck, I wasn't prepared for this.
Yeah. So that turned into, Hunter and his wife, Melissa, they gave me a place to live for
That's
six
right.
for 6 months.
That's amazing.
So I moved in with them, and went full time here, and that's where I've been ever since.
That's amazing, man.
That seems like a
huge
lifetime
risk.
ago, but it hasn't been that long.
Just
really.
what, 2
Yeah.
years? You said COVID, so a little over 2 years.
Yeah. So I've been full time here since January 21.
Wow.
So yeah.
And I love that you talked about the money aspect of it and all you were giving up, because I did the same thing. And Beth, you quit working full time to work for yourself or work and everything too, and that's something we hear a lot. Like, you're just doing this for money. It's like, actually, like, I gave up a lot of money to come and follow my passion and follow what made me happy.
Yep.
So
It's terrifying.
if I was doing it for the money, I would have stayed in corporate America and
Yep.
been miserable.
Right.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. 100%. It's can you make money in this industry?
Sure.
Of course.
Yeah.
But in order to do it, you got to fucking grind, and you got to make sacrifices.
Especially as evidence-based and ethical coaches like ourselves.
Yes.
Because it's a lot easier to make money in this industry
Be a scam artist.
to be a snake oil salesman.
Yep.
And to tell people to avoid certain foods and sell them the solution to the
product.
problems that they're creating, which is not stuff that we do, and we speak very outwardly against. So
So yeah, that's my story.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Going back, you said that you were intimidated to start in the gym. You didn't know where to start.
Yeah.
So you built your own. But going back to that, for anybody that's listening that's interested in the strength training or is intimidated by the gym, because we hear this a lot. What do you have any advice that you could give them to help with that gym intimidation?
Gym intimidation. Yeah. One thing that I didn't do, and I wish I did, was just hire a fucking coach.
Okay.
I don't care if it's an online coach or an in-person trainer, but just hire somebody to give you some sort of structure and somebody that is going to critique your form.
Yes.
That's important. Form above all else, right? It doesn't matter how much weight you're lifting. If you're doing a shitty form, which you could eventually hurt yourself.
Just to have like a program too, to follow something.
That's
take the guesswork. I'd be like,
yes.
I was spinning my wheels for years until I actually had a program.
It's amazing
workouts.
such a night and day difference doing things on your own.
You go in, you follow it, and and you get results.
Yep. Because you at least, like, if you have something structured that somebody gave you that
knows what they're doing.
Knows what they're doing, air quotes. Like, maybe you hire somebody that doesn't really know, but they still know more than you.
Right.
Right? So they're giving you direction. They're showing you what to do. So that takes the whole, like, aspect out of it of, like, at least you have some confidence going to the gym. Like, at least I know what I'm going to do. I'm not just going to fucking bounce between the dumbbell rack and the machines and whatnot. Like, you have an idea. But to be honest, like, to give advice with the whole intimidation thing is, like, go to a gym. Most people don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And they don't give a shit about you.
Yeah.
True.
They don't.
True.
Like, even now we go to Planet Fitness because it's our basically our only option right now. But nobody gives a shit.
No.
Like, you could literally do anything you want and nobody's going to care because
they're not going to judge you, and
they're too focused on their workout, what's on their phone, and whatever else they're doing.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know it's easier said than done, but there's no reason to be intimidated. But if the reason you're intimidated is because you're unsure of what to do, just hire somebody. It's a fucking investment in yourself. It's crazy to me. Like I do sales here. I tell people this is an investment in your health. Like you are the most important thing. You buy fucking Netflix subscriptions. You pay $100 a month for cable or your cell phone. Like you don't bat an eye at that, right? But if you don't have your health, you can't use any of that shit.
Right. But they're also buying, and this is a huge thing, other like programs that are quick fixes.
Yes.
So we're talking like Optavia, Nutrisystem, Noom, whatever the fuck. Like they're spending a lot of money on that shit.
And Optavia, that's like $500 a month.
I mean,
fucking
that's
insane.
insane for you to like just keep spinning your wheels. Like in all the supplements that people buy, like the fat burners that think they're magic
all that
fixes.
shit away.
You can be spending that on a fucking coach to set you in the right direction to actually set you up for life rather than just keep spending this money on this shit that never fucking works.
Yep.
And too, on the note of coaches, most gyms, I don't know if you guys do this here or not, but most gyms will give a free PT session, at least one, to get you in the door. And of course, they'll try to sell you a package and things like that, which is, there's nothing wrong with that. That's what they're there for. But to at least get you comfortable with the gym or the equipment. I know my gym back home, we do that for people, you know, just to show them around the gym, get them familiar with the equipment, do assessment on their movements, and make sure they're capable of actually working out rather than just getting thrown into a workout too.
So we'll kind of do something similar. We don't do necessarily a free session, but we do like a consultation. They'll come in, we'll show them around, run them through an assessment, you know, just to give them an idea, talk them kind of through maybe their goals, what they're trying to achieve. And then, you know, like if they have aches and pains, it's like, okay, well, we can do this to maybe address it. Like certainly we can't fix your injuries or whatever, but we can definitely help you move better and feel better.
Right.
So.
What's cool about hybrid fitness is that it's not like an open gym where you can come in anytime. So you have like, let's say small group personal training classes where you have a group that's doing the same program for like a month at a time. So but you have a coach that's able to help you, you know, with your injuries, what have you. So it's almost like having your own personal trainer, but you have people to do it with, so you kind of build a little community, you have accountability. You're not like going in and like doing it alone. So I think that's like something that's
an important piece right there.
You know, everywhere that happens.
Yeah. That a lot of people that you know come here, that enjoy that. It's like I don't want to go into the gym by myself. It's like it's hard for me to get the motivation to just go by myself and do my workout and do it every day. Like having people with you know similar goals, you know, around you helps. So it's a cool way to doing it.
Yeah. And then, you know, having to be there at a certain time. So you can't like get out of it, right? Like, oh, I have a class at 9.
Accountability.
I'm meeting this person there. So it's like you have to show up.
Yeah.
Which is the hardest part.
And I agree. It's definitely investing in your health. I believe everybody can benefit from having a coach or a trainer of some sort. I've got a coach of my own. Beth, I know you've got a coach. Either investing in your health is usually financial, but it's also your time, your energy as well. And I would say it's an investment now or it's going to be an expense later. Like you choose essentially.
100%.
So invest your time, money, whatever it is now, your energy into learning this shit now so that later you're not caught with your pants down like, oh my God, now my health has actually gotten to a point where I can't move or I'm pre-diabetic or my blood pressure's high because I haven't been doing anything about it. Whereas if you would have gone back a few years and just started generally moving more and moving better and working with somebody potentially, like it would have been, you know, you could have prevented all that shit.
Yeah, that's very similar to what I say. It's like you choose to do it now or you're going to be forced to do it later.
And that's
true.
That's what bothers me too when people come to us and they're like, I'm not motivated to work out. I'm like, or motivated to do anything, to change. I'm like, do you want to be healthy? Like, because that should be all the fucking motivation you need to be healthy and to be around your family and provide for your family long term.
Yeah.
If that's not motivation enough, nothing I say is going to light that fire under your ass. If you can't do this for yourself and for your family, then there's nothing out there that's going to motivate you to move your ass.
Yeah. I always say view your health as a gift versus a chore. Like it's not. It shouldn't be a chore to take care of yourself.
Oh, I have to work out. No, I get to work out.
Yeah,
today.
like
I
you
get
have
to work
fucking
out.
legs right now. You know, some people don't. I've seen a fucking guy run a Boston Marathon with one leg, and you're complaining, holding an American flag, and you're fucking complaining that I'm so tired. It's like, really? Okay. That's,
You're tired because you're not
I have
doing
no
anything.
motivation.
Also true. Yeah.
But you have legs and you have a body that is functional. You should fucking use it before you can't.
Yep.
That's just,
Agreed.
Yeah, great. Have some gratitude and appreciation for your own body and what it can do for you.
That's a lot of people don't take their body. They take their body for granted until they actually something happens.
Until they no longer have that body
Exactly.
or the use of their body like they.
When it's too late, it's too late.
Yeah.
We were certainly not made to sit constantly.
Yeah.
That's just not how we were.
Well, there's the saying, sitting is the new smoking, and it's fucking true.
Yeah.
There's literal studies that support this. Like living a sedentary lifestyle is the worst thing we can do for our health.
Yep.
Literally just moving more, increasing your steps by 1,000 every day is going to have an astronomical effect on your overall health for the long term.
Yep.
Right. I'm so tired though. You're tired because you're not fucking doing anything. Like start moving your body and walking and exercising. You're gonna have actually more energy.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it doesn't make sense in a way, but it does. Like you get energy by moving. Like your body's going to thank you for it. Your body craves movement.
Yep.
I know me personally, and I'll call myself out. I'm glad to do it. When I don't move, I'm very moody. I'm grumpy. I get sad and depressed, and I'm like,
and I do get lazy.
Yeah, so do I. I went through a patch of that recently.
Yeah, I had to kick your ass on that one.
You did. She did. She fucking texted me the one day,
Throwing down the elbow.
She said, "When you gonna get back to the couch to 5K, bitch?" I said, "Oh, I'm fucking going right now." Like it was literally pouring out.
It was like 2 weeks after you already got back. I'm like,
Yeah,
so
'cause I said I was gonna do it when I got
you gonna
back.
start back?
Yeah,
Oh,
and
man.
it had been probably almost 2 weeks at that point. You're right, because I had sprained my ankle.
Here I am
And-
ending COVID and fucking getting right back into it.
Yeah. So she called me out, and I even though it was raining, I said, "You're right." I said I was gonna do it. I went out and I fucking had a run in the rain.
And you've been kicking ass ever
I've
since.
been kicking ass ever since. That was what I needed. That kick
Right
in the ass.
on.
So when we're saying these things for everybody listening, when it sounds like we're giving you tough love and like, oh my God, that sounds like they're kind of an asshole. We're saying
not
it out of
being
a place
mean.
of love.
Yeah.
We've been there. We know these things. We've experienced them. That's we want you to avoid the feelings that we've felt and the way our feelings, our clients have felt when we talk with them and they're not moving and come to help.
And here's the thing with it, like people from the outside looking in, people that don't exercise or whatever, they're, you don't have to go fucking 7 days a week.
No.
Like, you know what I mean? Like just do something a little bit, like just a little bit more than you did before.
Yesterday, right?
Yeah. Like that's it. You don't need to start with a fucking hour a day every day of running or an hour a day every day of lifting weights. It's like
You're gonna burn out.
do one fucking day for like, say you want to lift weights, go for fucking 20 minutes, half hour, like whatever. Like don't blow your load all at once because this needs to be a lifestyle. Like you can't just do it for 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 8 months. It's like, this is your life. You want to be healthy? This is your life. Figure out a way to incorporate it every day or we'll say like every week.
Most days of the week.
Yes, on a consistent basis
Yeah.
is a better way to put it. Like be consistent with exercising and do all that you can without overdoing it. Like, and when it comes to making progress, if progress is your goal, like instead of just like maintaining, then minimal effective dose is the key.
Yeah.
Like you just want to do the least amount of work to get the progress that you want because you're going to have to keep adding to that over time.
Yeah.
So why do more than you have to?
Right.
You don't have to fucking kill yourself. Just do something.
And it's okay to work out just to feel good. And that's actually where I'm at currently. Beth and I were talking about this earlier this week. Somebody asked me, what's next for me after the Couch to 5K program? Am I going back to my strength goals? And I'll be honest with you, I don't think I'm going to go back to chasing strength, at least not at this time. I'm working out right now to feel good, and because it makes me feel good. And also, I'm teaching my son how to work out right now, so
nice.
I'm working out with him when I'm back home. I don't care about building muscle anymore, at least right now. I don't care about increasing my strength. I chased strength for so long. I actually, it was fucking exhausting mentally and physically. So I did my powerlifting meet, which I'm thankful for. I had a really good time for that, and I'll definitely do one again, but it's just not right now.
Right.
There's phases of your journey.
Yep.
Like you don't, just because you start with something doesn't mean that's where you're going to end. You're going to dip your toes in a lot of stuff. Find what works for you. Let me try that again. Find what works for you, because there's a lot of cool stuff out there, and there's no end all be all.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Lots
there's
of cool
no
shit out
perfect
there.
plan.
There is
So
not.
when you're like, well, what should I do? It's like, like everyone starts somewhere. Like Dusty started with fucking Beachbody. Look where he is right now. I started with group coaching classes and doing all kinds of crazy shit, and look where I'm at now. Like it morphs into something. You just got to start. Whatever it is, find something that you are just moving. And
It's
then,
probably not going to be the same thing a couple years from now, but at least you're getting started.
It's not going to be you may be surprised where you end up in a few years.
Never did I think that I'd be running again.
Yeah.
Because I started out running and I fucking hated every moment of it because I was doing it for the wrong reasons.
Right.
So
Yeah.
now I'm really enjoying it. I went for a run last night here in Maine along the bay.
Yeah.
That's the bay right
The
there,
coast,
right?
yeah.
The coast. And I mean, I enjoyed it. I didn't even have headphones in, just ran
Yeah.
and ran for 8 minutes straight for each cycle, each set. And it was amazing. And now I'm thinking, I'm like, holy fuck. Like, I understand why people run. I know that feeling now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, am I going to do a race? Maybe I'll do like a decathlon at some point. Or
Didn't
maybe
we talk about a half marathon?
We talked about a half marathon and like I want to do 14ers and all this other stuff, like
right.
non-strength stuff. So
Very cool.
obviously you evolved from Insanity and those type of programs to working on building lean muscle mass. Do you see? I mean, you obviously don't know what.
Yeah,
the
what are
future's
your
gonna hold
strength,
For you, but what kind of goals do you have
muscle
at the moment?
building goals, Dusty? Let's hear it.
So initially when I first got into the weightlifting thing, it was just pure strength. Like I loved it. I fell in love with deadlifting and squatting. And
my favorite.
not benching though, because I have
Same.
super long arms, so my bench is really weak. But I could pull and I could squat decent. So that is what I did for years and years and years. And then I'm like, man, I'm not really changing much physique wise. Like I want to be aesthetically, a little more pleasing to my eye. I don't give a shit what anybody else sees, but I got to look at myself in the mirror when I shower. So,
Right.
Right now I'm diving more so into, building muscle and more of like I hate calling it
Bodybuilding?
Yeah, because that has such a negative connotation. Like I'm not trying to
You're
be,
just building your body. I mean,
Yeah.
Yes.
You're not doing the bodybuilding sport per se.
Right.
Yeah.
But just diving into it, like learning about it, it's different. Like,
Yeah.
are you lifting weights? Yeah, but it's a fucking completely different animal. Like everything's different.
Yeah, like working through your workouts these last 2 days, there's a bigger emphasis on slower, controlled movements with time under tension and eccentrics and concentrics.
They're brutal.
They're brutal for sure, and it's definitely not the type of stuff that I typically incorporate in my own training.
Yep.
So. I'll do pause work and things like that.
Yeah.
But very rarely do we do things for tempo,
Yep.
things like that. So.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like I want to see where I could take my body at 49, 50
Yeah.
years old.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
Yep. See, my goal now is like I just turned 34, and so now I am going to be in better shape every fucking year from here on out. And when I'm not, that's when I'm going to consider myself old. So like I'm just going to try and just keep getting better physically and mentally.
Yeah,
But
I love that.
right now I'm just digging the bodybuilding thing.
Yeah, it's fun.
I don't know why it's different. Like I don't ache. My joints don't
Yeah.
fucking ache as much. Like we're using different equipment. Cables were something that I'd never used before because I didn't have access to them. Machines, leg presses, so I'm starting to see right out of the gate, like there's a lot of changes and I just feel so fucking better.
I love that you mentioned machines,
Yes.
especially because a lot of people like to demonize
Like what's better,
machines.
free weights or machines?
Yeah,
It's like
it's
there
like
you can incorporate both.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a place
Like-
for both. They all have their purpose.
So
Yeah.
let's this is a good thing, a good topic. Like what's the difference, right?
okay.
Between like machine and dumbbells.
So machines.
Let's say you do like a chest press on the machine and chest press with dumbbells.
Okay. So it really comes down to basically, how do I want to describe this so it's easily digestible? So the movement of the resistance of an exercise, so say the dumbbells, the further away it gets from the joint and the muscle group that you're working, the more torque you're placing on that, right? So we call that the resistance curve. So things get harder the further away they get from a joint, right? So it places more torque on a muscle or a joint. Your muscle has the ability, it has a strength curve is what we call that. And that is, so in the lengthen, and this is a general strength curve for the majority of muscles. Not all muscles have this, but so in a lengthened position, so when your muscle is, let's say you're talking your bicep and your arm is fully out, extended, that is the lengthened position of your bicep. Your bicep is fairly weak in this position.
Right.
And
Very
as you start to bend the elbow, you're getting stronger. And about midpoint is where your muscle is the strongest. So halfway through shortened and halfway through lengthened is typically where a muscle is the strongest. When you're fully contracted, it's at its weakest. So you have that strength curve. It's kind of like a little bell curve, right? You're weak, you're strong, and then you're weak again. And now we're talking resistance curve is, through external forces, be it dumbbells, cables, machines, whatever it is. So that has its own curve. So, when a weight is, so a dumbbell lateral raise is actually a very, very easy thing to understand in this aspect. So your shoulder, your arms by your side, you have a dumbbell. Your shoulder is in that lengthened position. As you're lifting the arm up, so your arm will be parallel at the top of the movement. That's when your muscle is in its shortened position. So it's weak there, right? But what are we looking at if we have a dumbbell in our hand? It's really easy at the bottom, right? You're just holding it at your side. You could probably hold a fucking 100 pounds there until you're
good luck lifting that up, especially on that movement,
exactly.
Right?
So you start lifting it up, it's getting further away from your body. Therefore, it's providing more torque on that muscle. And as you get to the top, it's the hardest. But your muscle is at its weakest. Therefore, those two curves don't line up. So it's not a very effective exercise when it comes to muscle building. You want those two to line up. So you want the movement to be the easiest when a muscle's at its weakest.
Okay.
So the lines, does that make sense? So the lines are kind of like going together. So in a sense of hypertrophy, we're not talking strength here. People get after me all the time about this shit. This is in the eyes of hypertrophy. You are trying to build muscle, so you want to be optimal here. A cable lateral raise set up properly is going to follow that better than a dumbbell.
It's a lot better because you're having constant tension too, because from the bottom to the top, so
the tension actually changes.
Control it.
It actually changes. The tension actually changes in a cable movement. So because the force, the distance between the force, which is the cable in this aspect, and your body changes. Okay. So the resistance actually does change. It's just you control it through your body position, right? So if you line it up correctly, you've got pretty easy at the bottom, hardest in the middle, and then at the top it's going to be easy as well. So you're working the whole muscle. Whereas if you're doing a dumbbell lat raise and you're using heavier weight than you should, most people in the gym, you've got to muscle it up. You're not actually doing anything for the last 25 to 50% of the muscle. So that's why you're not building a lot of muscle with a dumbbell lat raise. But you can turn a dumbbell lat raise into a good exercise. You just line things up better. So in order to do that, you just lay on a bench sideways. Okay, so that takes, so at the top of the movement, the weight is actually lined up with the shoulder joint. So it's not placing all the torque. So it's really easy. You could hold it in that position for a long time. So that's it in a nutshell. Yeah. Hypertrophy is about lining up basically your strength curve with the resistance curve. So if we're talking dumbbells, machines are built to, so here's the thing. There's really shitty machines and there's really good machines. Probably the ones we use at Planet Fitness, probably not the greatest, but guess what? It's what we have, so we're using them. Right. But if they're built really, really well, that resistance curve that it provides is going to line up with your strength
That
curve.
fixed plane that it has, it's set to be optimal for that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you'll notice, like on some of the machines that you see, there's what we call a cam, and it's a big circular disc that either cables are around or whatever.
Right.
It's not a perfect circle. It's a weird kind of like bean shaped type thing, and that is to help kind of change the resistance as you're moving through the motion. So that's kind of the difference. Machines aren't for everybody. There is one thing, like, don't just hop on a fucking machine and use it. Like, you have to know how to align your body properly so you're using it efficiently and safely. But I mean, certain machines are better than others. There's no end all be all.
What are some machines? You mentioned some machines that are worse than others. Like, what are some machines that you really are not a fan of?
I mean, I know, looking at like Planet Fitness, they've got a lot of like cable rowing, like machines that are like rowing machines. It's weird. I would prefer like a plate loaded machine that follows the strength curve of your body and your muscles ability.
Yeah, see, the gym I work out is very old fashioned, old school. So a lot of the machines we have, they are plate loaded.
Yeah.
So we have 3 cable machines there, and that's it. And they're always used. So you have to use the plate loaded machines if you want to get some work in anyway. So I'm a big fan of those.
There's a lot of good plate loaded machines, and again, like, I'm no expert on this topic. Like, I'm fairly new in the sense to all of this stuff. But the more research I do, like, this stuff has a place. A lot of people say like, oh, it doesn't have a place. Well, it does, because again, if we're talking muscle building and hypertrophy, there are a few things that you need to optimize it, and stability is one of them. So external stability, sitting in a machine, you're going to be far more stable. Like, if you're in a leg press, you are so much more stable than if you were doing a squat. They're two different exercises, but you're able to isolate.
You're not having to support yourself and you should still be bracing and everything,
of course,
but you're not having to fully support the weight of hundreds of pounds all on your own.
Exactly, and that means you're not going to get compensation from other muscle groups.
Right.
So you're able to work a targeted muscle harder and longer.
Yeah. The way I like to do it with programming is I like to do all 3: compound movements, isolation with dumbbells, and machines.
Yep.
I think they all have their place, like you said. I like to start with compound movements, your squat and your and deadlifts, variations and things like that. Move on to some accessory work for isolations, whether it's a one arm row for back, whatever.
Yeah.
And then some type of a machine or two to kind of do a higher rep range then as well with the machines is what I like to do to finish off the workout.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, I mean, it's goal dependent. Right?
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
What do you want to do? Do you want to just gain pure strength? Then, machines probably aren't the best for you, because you need to teach your body how to kind of use multiple muscles and multiple joints and at once to move a weight from A to B as efficiently as possible and as much weight as you can move.
Yeah, look at a bench press, for instance. It's done properly. A bench press is a full body movement because you're bracing yourself with your feet. You're driving through your legs, and you're using every muscle in your body. Just like that's why it's a compound movement, right? So
and you could turn a barbell bench press into a muscle building movement. I don't necessarily like love it as one of those, but you can do it.
Yeah.
And to do that is, let's not focus so much on leg drive. Let's not focus so much on, the biggest cue you hear is pull your shoulders back and down and lock them in a bench press. If you want to build muscle, don't fucking do that. If you want to save your shoulders, don't fucking do that either. But what that does in that sense is it limits your range of motion. And when it comes to building muscle, you want as much range of motion as possible.
Powerlifting,
You
don't. You want to take the shortest route to move the most. That's why
the most weight.
That's why in powerlifting, and this is why women get so much shit on, because they're capable of having that insane arch in their bench press. People are like, that's cheating because they're moving at 3 inches. Like, that's the sport. They want to move as much weight as possible, and
in the shortest,
in the shortest distance possible.
So that's the difference. People think they're very, kind of the same, but they are very different.
Definitely very different. Definitely very
so,
different.
yeah, I mean, they're just tools in the gym if we're going back to machines and dumbbells. But, if you know kind of what you want, you can manipulate them to give you exactly what you want.
Yeah, absolutely. Going back to the bench press, for instance, you take the leg drive out of it, you can just literally put your feet up on the bench. And now, I can't remember what that movement is called. It's been a while. It's been a few months since I've done those, but we were incorporating those as an accessory to my bench press because, just isolate the chest and the shoulders and everything.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah, because you're not relying on anything else.
Right.
So yeah, it's funny. People look at exercises through the lens of like there's only one. It's like it's a one-way street.
This is the best. This is the best way. This is the only way, and I fucking hate it. When
I know.
people
There's
start
so many
talking like that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of. Thankfully, I'm not on the bodybuilding side of TikTok, but if you are, all you hear is optimal, and like you're leaving gains out on the table and this and this and this. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like I don't care.
Right.
But also, my audience is much different than theirs. I'm not talking to bodybuilders. I don't give a fuck about that. Like if you're listening and you do, sorry, but that's not my thing.
Right.
Right.
So that's actually, it's funny that you say that because that's what I've been diving into.
Yeah.
Right. Is
Yeah.
the whole bodybuilding thing. And it's like, okay, how do I optimize? So like I am learning about that.
Right.
And it's fucking cool to me. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
But to most people, it's like, well, I don't care how to fucking optimize my bicep in this
Right.
position. Like, all right, well, yeah, that's fine. But like, I find
But
it really
you do.
fucking
Yeah,
cool. Like,
because your
Yeah.
goal is to build as much much puzzle as possible.
Exactly.
So why would you not do that in the most efficient way?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is we can still sit here at the same fucking table and agree
Yeah.
on certain things.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like it's
Just because I don't like it doing it that way, I mean training that way doesn't mean that you're wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
and unless you're a fucking CrossFitter, like I'm just kidding. No, there's a place for CrossFit too. I think it's a fucking awesome sport, but
you said that correctly. It's a sport.
exactly that's what it is. It's a sport. It's
It is a
not.
sport.
It's not a modality of just exercising for health.
That's my gripe with CrossFit is just taking Jane and John from off the street and then, okay, here's a barbell, start doing this for time, for reps, and just go balls to the wall,
Right.
and then they get hurt a month later.
Yeah.
Say goodbye to your fucking shoulders.
But also, like, let's make this clear here too. There's good CrossFit gyms and then there's bad CrossFit gyms, just like with everything. And I should say gym, it's a box, right?
Yeah.
But the bad ones are what gives it the bad reputation that it has.
Yep.
A good CrossFit box and I know of a few back home that my friends go to. They'll take you aside and they'll regress your exercises. They'll give you there's different versions to do if you don't have the mobility, or they'll be just squatting with a broomstick, for instance, rather than loading up a barbell. Like that's the type of shit that I love to see.
Yeah, there's if done properly, there's a placement for everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what's cool. And I wish people would stop being so fucking dogmatic about what's best and what's not. It's
I
like
know.
you can incorporate everything.
Yeah, and what I see with people going to CrossFit too, it's kind of what you were talking about earlier with the Insanity and those type of programs. Usually that attracts the same type of person, the people that want to go balls to the wall, burn as many calories, have a super high intensity workout every single time. That's usually what attracts what CrossFit attracts, that type of person.
Yep.
It's neither wrong nor right. It's just that's what they like.
Yeah, I mean, if it works for you, great. Just be safe. And don't push your ideology on somebody else,
Right,
because
right.
it's just because you think it doesn't mean it's fucking right.
I'm lazy. I don't want to go to the gym and bust my ass and feel like shit afterwards. I want to get in, like you said, do the minimal amount of work necessary to get the results that I want.
Yep.
So.
I mean, there's a place for walking out of the gym like a fucking newborn giraffe sometimes, and
It's needed every once in a while for sure.
typically,
but every time,
lately that's been most of our leg days, though, Beth. We're walking
Leg
out
days
of...
are,
They're pretty...
and we don't have many movements either. That's the thing.
Yeah.
There's like 4 exercises for leg day, and we walk out of there, and I'm fucking wrecked for like the whole day.
Yep.
I think let's talk about that because I think yesterday we did 5 movements for
Right.
our chest.
Yep.
It
Yeah.
was like we didn't do a million exercises and a
No.
different million variations, and we weren't doing 1,000 reps. Like
Yep.
we did 5-6 movements, I think. And maybe today we did 6 movements, but yesterday we did 5. And that's really all you need.
Yep. So I just made a post on this that if you're, or at least I'm going to, I filmed it. I can't remember if I posted it yet or not, but it's basically saying if you're doing more than 2 exercises for a particular muscle group, you're not working hard enough.
I would agree with that. Yeah, and that's something we talk about actually just last week. Like, you're just not pushing yourself hard
Right.
enough
That's
with the exercises that you're already supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
why would you need more? Just work harder in the ones that you already have.
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to like it's junk volume. You're
Yeah.
just you're lifting to lift. So
Yeah.
like, are you working? So there's different divisions of muscle. So let's take the chest for example. You've got your upper, your mid, and your lower kind of pec, right?
Yep.
So obviously, if you're doing something to hit different divisions, that's fine. But it's the people that are doing, they start their workout with a barbell bench press flat, and then they do a flat dumbbell bench press, and then they're doing like a flat chest fly. It's like
You just hit that same movement pattern, the
Right.
same
Yeah.
muscle three times.
Yeah.
just on your one set, like on your one set of exercises, rather, like your 3 sets of barbell bench, like fucking go.
Right.
Like put some work in. That's it.
And then
like,
do like an incline after that, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to hit a different division, like you don't need to do 16 different fucking
It's
exercises.
like with biceps for is a really good example. A lot of times people will just do a regular bicep curl, but not realizing that there's 3 different ways you should be doing bicep curls. To hit all the different heads
Yep.
and positioning.
Yep.
So yeah, like
Yep.
today we did incline dumbbell curls.
Yep.
Brutal, but your
And then hammer
your
curls.
arm your shoulder is back. Your arms are back and behind your body doing that. So it's hitting it in a different way than if you were doing
Standing.
a standing curl or like an easy bar curl or something where your arms are going to be in front of you.
Yep. So that's it really. Like, stop doing too much. Like, everybody's in the gym just fucking frying themselves. It's like, you don't hit 4, 5, 6 movements, get everything you need to and get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
Like,
And that goes back to what you said earlier about having a coach or a trainer, because they'll set that stuff up for you instead of what I like to call gym fuck around-itis.
Yep.
Going to the gym without a plan and fucking around. This is what I feel like doing today. And if like I said, if you just want to work out and to feel good and things like that, cool. You can definitely do that. And get away
Right.
with
But
that.
if you have a goal and you're just going in and you're just fucking just going through the motions and,
gotta have a plan.
yeah,
Yeah.
you do.
Gotta have a plan. You
Yep.
really do.
Totally.
So,
All right.
Gotta have a plan.
Always.
Plan to succeed or
What's that saying?
succeed in failing, essentially. Fail to plan.
Fail a plan to fail.
Yep.
yeah,
fail to plan,
that's
plan
the
to
one.
fail.
That's
Yep.
the one.
That's the one.
Yep.
But the only way you fail is just giving up altogether.
That's right.
True.
You're not
yeah.
really failing. You're just learning.
Yeah, it's a learning opportunity.
Learning with style.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That was a fucking amazing chat.
was fun.
Yeah, Dusty. For anybody listening, though, throw out your handle on Instagram. What platforms are
Dusty
you
is
on?
creating some fucking awesome content. So if you're not following him, you need to.
I'm on the Gram and TikTok,
That's-
and I'm actually just confirming because I think I changed my handle
You're like,
a
what
while
is my
back.
username anyway?
Yeah, it's Fittrition Coaching on Instagram. Fittrition. It's funny play on words, right? Fitness and nutrition, real fucking clever.
It is
I think
actually.
it's good.
FITRITION Coaching on Instagram, and I believe TikTok is the same thing.
If it's
Yes,
not
it
the
is.
same thing, okay, good. If
Yep.
it's not the same thing, let's
Fittrition.
make it the same.
Yeah.
We'll put it in our show notes.
We
Cool.
definitely will.
Yep,
Definitely
at
will.
Fittrition Coaching. Kind of new to the TikTok, Instagram thing. Beth's
You'll be
been-
seeing him.
Yep, we're gonna do
in
some,
some future videos.
Oh, boy.
After this, we're gonna go record some videos
Yeah.
with you. So.
Yeah, we'll see if we can make some people upset, squirm.
We're
Maybe
gonna wind you guys up.
So gym content is coming. All right.
Yes.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thanks again, Dusty.
Yeah, thanks for having me,
Thank
guys. This
you.
was awesome.
Yeah.
You guys are great. So
Appreciate it.
love your stuff.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
man.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Peace out.
And that is a wrap for this episode of Cut the Crap with Beth and Matt. Did we help you cut through the bullshit? We want to know. Send us a DM on Instagram and share your thoughts. We'd love to hear them. And if you did find this one helpful, why not share this episode with a friend? I know I personally love it when a friend shares their favorite podcast with me, along with a text saying, "Oh my God, you have got to check out this podcast. You'll love it." And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss future episodes.